into this now, percentages. So we've done fractions and decimals, we want percentages in here as well. Percentages are always out of 100. Okay, always. Or they're out of, I shouldn't put 100%. They're always out of 100. Percentages are a useful way of comparing results. So we often give you a percentage on your test. When you look on sector and you see your marks, they're always percentages because not all tests are out of the same amount. So the percentage helps us to compare how you're going across topics. It is important to memorize the most commonly used conversions, and we're going to fill in this table below of some of the ones that you might be more familiar with, but then I'm going to show you how I actually convert them. So one whole is 1. As a decimal, that's still 1. And as a percentage, a whole is represented by 100%. 1/2 is written like that as a fraction. As a decimal, it's 0.5, and that would mean 50%. 1/3 is 1/3. Please copy these in. A decimal, that's 0.3 with our repeater dot. We did that one just before. And as a percentage, that's 33⅓%, or 33.3 with a repeater dot percent. You could write that either way. 1/4 is 1/4. It is 0.25. Remember, you'd just be using your SD button on your calculator to go from the fraction to the decimal part. And then to get to a percentage, we get 25%. Does anyone know how to get to from the decimal to the percentage?
It's not.
Yeah, Camilla?
Is it lolly? It's like how many fives? Wait. Are you saying from the decimal to the
Yeah, it's the easiest to go from the decimal to the percentage.
Sorry, isn't it just like the same as the decimal?
Yeah, but you've moved the decimal point over 2 places.
For 100 by 100.
Not quite. What you're actually doing, nobody else should be talking. Shh. You're times the decimal by 100. You times the decimal by 100 and that's how you get a percentage. But I'll be giving you a diagram to explain that in a minute. 1/5 means 1/5. It is 0.2 as a decimal, and that is 20%. 1/10 is 1/10, 0.1 and 10%. And finally, 100th is 1/100. It's 0.01 in the hundredths position, and it is 1%. Now, we already know, and I want you to draw this on your page, if we have a fraction or a decimal, both the ones we were just practicing, we can just use the SD button on our calculator to change between those two things. Doesn't matter which one I start with. Type it in, press the SD button, it'll change it to the other one. Okay? But if I want to get to a percentage, okay, so there's my percentage sign, so I don't have to write the whole word. From either one of those, to get to a percentage, you times by 100. If I have the percentage, though, and I want to go to a fraction or a decimal, you divide by 100. And you can use your SD button to change from the fraction to the decimal again if it gives you the wrong one. Okay, so that diagram is going to be very, very helpful in this next section. So here is the next page. A percentage is a number out of 100. We already talked about that. To convert a percentage to a decimal, divide the percentage by 100. That was what I just wrote in that diagram for you. This can be done by moving the decimal point 2 places to the left if you were trying to do it without the calculator. So there's an example there, 42%. If I want to change that into a decimal, I take the 42 and I divide it by 100. Now, without the calculator, we would be moving an imaginary decimal point from the end here back 2 places, and it makes 0.42. However, you can use your calculator if you're not confident moving decimal places around. if we want to go the other way, to convert a decimal to a percentage, you multiply the decimal by 100. This can be done by moving the decimal point 2 places to the right. Okay, right, when you're multiplying, you're moving to the right. Divide, you move to the left. So here is an example. I have 0.654. To make that a percentage, I have to times it by 100. So that means the decimal point is going to jump over 2 places to be 65.4%. All right, that was the theory part, but most of what we've just written there at the top of that page, that little diagram that I gave you, helps you through all of those steps, okay, and your calculator as well. So here is some practice ones. Express the following percentages as decimals. So it is a percentage. Wish I had my diagram right now. Where's my diagram? Fraction, decimal, and over here is my percentage. So that way it was times by 100, and that way is divide by 100. So if I have got a percentage, which I do, and I want to get it to a decimal, I follow that arrow and it says divide by 100. So your working out is going to be 30 divide by 100. Now you can do a divide like that, or you can do a divide like that. Now a lot of the time you will see it written as a fraction, because if you were doing these without calculators, you would then simplify that down. But either way, when you type that into your calculator, we go 30 over 100. Oops, too many zeros. And you press your SD, we get 0.3 because we know we need it as a decimal. Let's try that again. 4% means I want to do 4. I want to divide that by 100. Use your calculator. Who's got that? Or without a calculator even. What is that? 4 is in the hundredths position. So it's 0.04. We didn't need a calculator for that. C, 240. Whatever the percentage is, we're going to divide it by 100. Hands up, who has an answer? No one has an answer. Yes, Riley.
Hang on. Is 2.4.
Perfect. Good. Next one, 89%. So it's a percentage. I'm going to divide it by 100. Stella.
Aren't you just moving the decimal point over to?
Yep, that's what it said in the notes. Yep, exactly right.
So you don't really need.
No, not for a lot of the percentage ones are quite easy to do without the calculator, yes. So 12.5%, I'm going to divide that by 100. So 12.5, divide it by 100, and we get 0.125, which is moving the two decimal places back. 56.4 divided by 100 is 0.564. There's a lot of these, isn't there? I quickly do the last two, and then I'll write them down the answers and see if you get the same thing.
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah. No.
I probably gave you the hardest ones because they were decimal points.
No.
So 0.004 and 0.002. Did everyone get that?
I did 0.04. Same.
Oh.
I got that.
Then you're one place out.
But don't you?
Because it's already all decimal points there, you've got to go two
You've
back.
got to go 2 more.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, question 2. We want to go from decimals to percentages. Back to my diagram up here. My decimal is here. To get to a percentage, I want to times it by 100. Now, this is really easy to do without a calculator. It just means 2 jumps to the right. So I'm going to go times that by 100, which is going to make 72%. So the times in by 100 is the working, okay? So I want you to write down your working out. That means that we're going to jump it 2 places over and we get our answer. So same thing for B. To make that a percentage, I'm going to times it by 100, which means that decimal point is going to come over 2 places to make 58%. Yeah, okay? We're going to okay with this. Do you want to try C and D? No. Who said no? Right. All right, I'll do it for you. So to turn a decimal to a percentage, we times by 100. You can use your calculator if you like, but all it's going to do is go 1 jump, and the second jump, because there's nothing to jump, it would be a 0. So 50%. D, to make it a percentage, times by 100. Yes, Kobe, good. 80%. Next page. There's a lot of these, so I'm going quickly.
The bell goes in.
I know, that's why I'm going quickly.
And how is it
Times it by 100. So 1 jump, 2 jump, 34.8%. F, times it by 100. So that's 1, 2 jumps, 64.9%. Everyone following okay?
Yeah.
All right, next one, times it by 100. So 1 jump, 2 jump makes 5%. Next one, everyone's the same. I'm timesing by 100. 1 jump, 2 jump, 3.4%. I, times it by 100. 1 jump, 2 jump, 0.6%. So it's still a decimal, but it's also been changed into a percentage. And last one, times it by 100, which means I do 1 jump over the 8, and I would need to add a 0 on the end for the second jump, so 480%. Please feel free to use your calculators if you're not happy jumping those decimal places.